again. Here's the bloopers for you, folks. Me talking to myself while I wait for Frank to come back from the bathroom. I don't have any bathroom music, sorry. We're awaiting frank.foster.jr. to come back from the restroom for podcast 2. Again, Frank and Ken Sports Chatter. Well, I could just go ahead and record the theme right now, Frank. It's Frank and Ken Sports Chatter. Hello. Live from Seattle. Hello. That sounds like Darth Vader just chat. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hold on.
I think I want to do this voice for the podcast. Is that okay with you? It's Jimmy the Greek. Wow. So,
All right.
yeah, I think I want to do this voice for the podcast. This is Jimmy the Greek.
No, none of that.
So you think's gonna win this next game? I'll tell you what I think. If I scratch my crotch to the right, it's the Duke. If I scratch my crotch to the left, it's fucking North Carolina. What do you think? Oh? Scratch my ass, it's gotta be fucking West Virginia. So, okay, what do you want to do with sports?
All right. What are we gonna name it?
I thought Frank and Ken Sports Chat would be fine. I mean,
Okay,
you want
that
to,
works.
I don't want to go too in deep. It's pretty much that's what it is. So no fucking, I think sound bites works well for Walking Dead. It's perfect, but I
Yeah.
couldn't come up with anything really that nice for this. It's just sports chat, so we could say Frank, the sad Detroit Tigers fan, and
I'm not sad.
and Ken, the pissed off
Michigan's.
Bears fan. Talk sports.
Yeah.
They all other teams they suck. That's what I think. But, okay, no, we can't do that. Okay, let's just talk. Are we gonna talk mostly about professional or college?
Well, we're gonna start off. We're gonna start off. Hold on, I got the script wrote down. Hold on, let me get it up.
I don't have a script, so I'm sorry. I'm just have to.
You're fine. I don't. I make a script for all our shows, so
Okay.
just to kind of keep us on track of where we're gonna go. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Michigan beating Loyola, Villanova beating Kansas, then talk about Villanova making history by breaking the NCAA record for most three-pointers made in a season. We're gonna preview Monday's title game. Yeah, Michigan's gotta play a lot better. But Wagner, if he plays the way he did, will do good. From You're right.
It's gonna be come down to rebounds from Michigan.
You're right. It will come down to rebounds. But then we're gonna just go into scores for the NBA, like nightly scores, like literally. I'm gonna just read off the scores from Sports Stir for the NBA and NHL. We're gonna pick the finals for both.
NBA and NHL.
Yep.
Well, guide me through that one. What's that NHL again?
The hockey league.
Oh, is that a sport? I'm sorry, I was not following.
Yes, it's a sport, Ken. Don't fuck around. All right, then I'm gonna do baseball scores. We're gonna do World Series predictions, and then maybe talk about some of the big trades that have happened in football.
Okay, again, you're gonna have to lead me through that because
That's fine.
I pay attention to
I'll talk about them, and you just talk about your
one
reaction to
sport
them.
right now. Only sport that my team's actually good in right now, so that's why I pay attention to. The Bears, I guess they got a receiver, so that's yeah.
Yeah, they got a receiver. We'll go over it. We might even cut football off just because it's so far off. But there's been some notable trades that's happened. So
No PGA.
no PGA, not in the golf.
I heard this one guy, this black guy, is making a splash coming back. I don't know.
Yeah, Tiger Woods. We might mention him maybe coming back because he is. No, he's back
Yeah, he is.
and he's
Just
playing good
ask your
again.
local hotel clerks. He's back in the show.
Well, no, he's healthy finally too.
Again, just ask your hotel clerks. He's
Can,
still back in the show.
no, I want one before I start my VLV after this podcast, and then I can have one before I go to bed. So will you give me why? Why? I'm not gonna be going to bed for a long time, so I don't. It's not recording right now. Hold on, Ken. I'm not gonna sit here and argue. I told you I'm not going to that this month. It's not happening. And you said you'd do that for tonight because I'm doing the podcast. No. After this podcast, I want one, please. It's gonna be starting to wear off, so I don't want to be hurting. Okay? This is not the most comfortable position. Hey, don't fuck it around. Look, you can give me a third one. You can give me another one before my fucking. Fine, whatever. Just fucking go get it for me now, then.
No, don't tell me what to do.
It's fucking stupid. I have to fucking beg you for them anyway.
Yes, 10 a day. Not happening.
No, it's not even 10. We're at fucking 6, so.
Fucking shit.
Or 8, so settle down. So you're gonna give me one after this podcast. Okay?
Leave me alone, Frank.
Just have it, please.
Shut up.
Whatever. bullshit.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
It is.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I fucking had to go 2 days without them, so you're right. I wouldn't be doing my fucking podcast either, so just get it for me. Just get it for me. Just get it for me when I'm done with this podcast. I shouldn't have to fucking argue with my shoulder being the way it is, but no, let's fucking be a bitch about it.
Yeah, because you haven't fucking overdone yourself with fucking painkillers.
Or whatever. You have no idea what the fuck it feels like. I don't want to hear you.
Pills in less than 5 fucking days.
Yeah, fucking 500.
So what?
So what?
That good motherfucking time operations don't even fucking start with.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah, and you have no fucking tolerance to them, so I don't want to hear it.
You have no tolerance for fucking pain.
Whatever.
You could have.
Whatever. It's fucking shut the.
Excuse me? What the fuck
You're
did you say to me?
starting to piss me off. Stop it. I have a lot of fucking tolerance to pain.
Yeah, okay. Prove it.
Get me my shit, please. Give me a. I need to listen to a fucking song and calm down. Have you heard back from what's her name, Heather?
I haven't checked Facebook. I've been busy with, like you, podcasting. I don't know. I would probably be surprised Saturday night. Yeah, take a look here at Facebook. Have you got back with her as far as being on her show? Or?
Yeah, I talked to her and she.
Yeah, I haven't got shit back from her on this. She's not even on Facebook right now, I don't think.
Yeah, that's seen 4 hours, so.
Heather Chase did not come back to me on my Are You Up for a VOP podcast. That was at 10:02. So, yeah. That's okay. I mean, 3 people's hard to keep up organized show with anyway. Especially politics, especially what's going on right now. So let's make this sports podcast really a quickie. I know for us, it's
Like a
hard.
half hour.
Well, that last one was 50 minutes, just to let you know. So
It was how long?
50 plus minutes. Yeah.
There's no way there's some of it you're gonna cut it out. We
Yeah, I
started
can
at
cut
12.
out some of it. I cut out some.
We
of
ended.
it.
We ended at 12:26. So it was
Yeah.
a half hour exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll cut out most of it, but that's on the left and right of it. But yeah, it was a little over 30, 35, 40 maybe. Are you okay for the sports chat? I mean, it's not a necessity that we put this one out. It's just this is one of those extra ones. We've already put The Walking Dead out episode 1, so it's not. This
Right.
is a new one. This is kind of like one that they're not going to looking to see. I mean, it's not a big fucking deal if we don't do it. If you just want to go right to politics, we can do that.
No, I want to get it in. It don't have to be that long.
All right. Well, you count it down. I'm ready to go.
What are we naming it again? Frank and Ken's Sports Chat?
Yeah. Unless you got a better one, I'm open.
Well, that sounds good.
I'm going to add it tomorrow on the website. Let's put a picture of baseball or basketball on there, right next to the Walking Dead one. That'll give us six going on at one time. And if we're going to have 6 going on at one time, we're going to have to be on here pretty often, more than we are, but have been lately.
Well, the surgery and shit.
Yeah, I know. I'm hearing. I'm just saying, when you're up to it, we're gonna have to put someone out there. We can't leave them hanging. I'm doing my liberal power bar podcast tomorrow by myself, and that will add to the list.
Right.
And I think one of us should be, if not you or me, should be on Heather's, so we can cross, what do you call it?
Cross. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
crossover shows, whatever.
Yeah, crossover. That's the crossover.
And hopefully we can find, like you said, somebody else to join in. I'm going to start recording on my Facebook chat. Actually, I'm going to start saying, "You watch your own podcast? I can give you one."
That'd be good. Yeah.
And see, I've got 4,500 people. But you know how good old Facebook is. You just can't ask them all the same question. That's what's the weird thing about Facebook right now. I try to paste the show, just give them the website, and even after I stop pasting and start just typing it in, after about 20 or 30 people, you're violating some sort of, if you continue this, you'll be blocked. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't tell my friends my website?
Really?
Personally, I can't chat to somebody and say, this is my website, please visit it? No, it's called advertising, and Zuckerberg doesn't like that. I can share it on my Facebook wall to anybody I want to, but once I start trying to type it to friends individually, and they get kind of shitty about it.
See, this show won't be long because we're gonna take a break, like 20-minute break after this, because I got pizza to go in the oven. I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat when it's done. Well, the show will take about the same amount of time as it does for us to do the show.
So we are doing a VOB tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I got tomorrow too, so I just want to let you know.
We might do it. We'll see how everything is going once we're done with this.
What's most important is how you're feeling. So.
Yeah. I just had got into a fucking argument trying to get some more of my shit. So.
The B shit, yeah, I know. Well,
yeah. Get more of my fucking pain medicine.
My girlfriend's been there. My girlfriend's been where you're at. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's bullshit. Shouldn't have to fucking beg to get so I'm not hurting, but whatever.
Well, just give me a countdown when you're ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. And hello, everyone. This is a brand new show called Frank and Ken's Sports Talk. It's me, Frank Foster. From many other shows you might have noticed, we have done The Walking Dead. Frank Foster presents The Voice of the Voiceless. And my co-host, Ken Woodward, has... Say hi, Ken.
Hi.
You have your...
Liberal Power Bar.
Liberal Power Bar podcast. So you guys should know us pretty well, and now we're here with a sports podcast for you. And what better night to do it than the night of the Final Four, and with the final game being on Monday. So let's just get right into it. Tonight, Michigan had a wonderful comeback against Loyola and beat Loyola 69-57 to make it to the finals. And Villanova absolutely crushed Kansas like they have every other team in the tournament, and that's kind of scary for me being a Michigan fan because Kansas was a 1 seed and they made them look like they were a 16 seed. But it's going to be Michigan versus Villanova because Villanova beats Kansas 95-79. Villanova also made history by breaking the NCAA record for most three-pointers made in a single season. So we have a team in Villanova that looks pretty much unbeatable. They've beaten all their teams in the tournament so far by double digits. But Michigan also made history by becoming the first team to make it to the finals without playing a 5 seed or higher. Thank you, Virginia. Now, Ken, how do you think that Monday's title game is going to go between Michigan and Villanova?
And it's going to come down to rebounding. It's going to come down to who takes care of the ball. It always does, basically, in any ball game, but in this game in particular, because of Michigan's advantage on the boards.
It really is.
Um,
Michigan's got to worry about staying out of foul trouble because they're not. They can't. Villanova hits their free throws. Michigan's not very good team wise for free throws, so we want to stay off the line as much as possible, which is something that you usually don't want, but we don't want Villanova to get us stuck into where we're shooting so many free throws that we take ourselves
Plus,
out of the game because we're missing
it
them.
appears to me they have a huge advantage as far as behind the 3-point line.
They do. They do. I mean, we got Mo Wagner, who on Michigan, who's a fucking freak of nature, 6'9" center, who's able to go outside to the 3-point line and hit threes like they're nothing. And Michigan's Duncan Robinson, he's good, and Muhammad Ali, Stephen Jenkins, I think his last name is. It's a weirdly wrong name. Michigan's got some players, and if Michigan plays the way they did in the final 2 games of the Big Ten tournament and the way they did against Florida State, they could possibly beat Villanova. And being as big a Michigan fan as I am, and I want to see them win so bad, I'm scared with this matchup. I'm scared because Villanova is so good. They were the number 1 team in the country.
Which team is younger? I was curious. Which team is the younger one?
I think Villanova's younger. Michigan, yeah. Michigan, that gives Michigan kind of an advantage, but
I don't think so. I think in these kinds of situations, the young kids, they don't know any better to be scared. They're just happy to be here, and they just throw it out on the line much more. Where people,
well, Michigan's they're just happy to be there too. They haven't been there yet. They went 6 years ago, but nobody from that team that went to the title game is on this team. This is Mo Wagner. This is Robinson. This is all them guys' first time on the big title stage.
Who's the coach? Who's the coach for your team, Michigan?
John Beilein, coach of the year.
Who's the coach for Villanova?
Bill Self, I believe. I'd have to look it up. Hold on.
Bill Self would be a name any Illinoisan fan would recognize, but sometimes matchups like this come down to the coaches, and I think the coaches who fare their team best have a better opportunity to win because.
Beilein he just got made coach of the year, so
this game becomes more or less not as much about talent as emotion, handling emotions. I have both seen these tournaments. There's this one guy, this X Factor, this person you didn't think was going to come out and play a great, fantastic fucking ball game.
Jay Wright is Villanova's coach.
Yeah, Jay Wright. But it looks to me like Villanova has more people, more players who could have that X Factor than Michigan. When you have a team of shooters, it's always who's hot. You can find that person who's hot. When you have 2 rebounders, it's a matter of not who's hot, but who can control the boards. But I don't know. You know what? The reason why I don't follow college basketball as closely as I do the pros, I stopped following it, Frank, when players went straight from college to the pros. Because I figured, what the hell is college basketball anymore if players don't even want to play the game?
Right. Well, it's because of the one and done rule, where they stopped high school players from being able to go straight to the NBA. There are some players that are able to do that.
Kobe.
I mean, Kobe, LeBron, Kevin Garnett. I mean,
but it takes away from the game when you don't have the people who are supposed to. It's like the Olympics. It's kind of like,
Right.
It's not the Olympics that we used to know as kids. It's not the NBA as we used to know as kids, because the NBA, you paid your dues. You played 4 years at a college. You had to.
Well, yeah, that's how it used to be, and then they dropped it to where high school players could start coming in, and that, they came in, and then they put this one and done rule in, which is kind of stupid. I mean, you're taking scholarships away from kids that would be actually use them and go just to the school for all 4 years instead of going for half a year to play your freshman season in basketball, and then as soon as it's done, you declare for the NBA draft. You're done with school. There goes a scholarship for some kid that could have used it.
But amazingly enough, even though they have these young players just playing 1 year and they're gone, teams like Illinois, North Carolina, Duke, you know what teams I'm talking about. Teams that are always
Right.
good every year still
Kentucky.
continue
Right.
to be fucking good.
Well, of course, because they get the best players. Those one and done players are the best players in the country. If it wasn't for the one and done rule, those players would be in the NBA draft right out of high school. So,
And why do you think people are so hell bent and love the fuck out of the fact to see Loyola make the Final Four? It's
well, yeah, because
because
there's a Cinderella that none of their players are probably going to make it to the
the
NBA.
players gonna be maybe that freshman. That freshman might be pretty damn good. That guy, that center guy they got, is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, he is,
He was
but
an
I don't
MSC
know.
Player of the Year,
We'll see. Right.
but I mean, even these teams, the 11 seeds that make it in the tournament, are full of players that played all 4 years of this team. They spilled their guts for their teams, and they were happy as hell to be there. You got guys right now playing in the NBA Final Four, or the NFL. Oh, sorry, the college Final Four, who are playing the NBA Final Fours for that's concerned, because they
Right.
already got contracts ready to be signed when they get off the court. It's hard to get up for a game when you know you've got $1 million waiting for you when you get off the court. It doesn't matter what I do. I'm fine. I give it my best. We didn't win.
Right. Right.
So that's why I get pissed off about college. That's why I get pissed off about college in not only basketball but football. It's just college football and college basketball are
What's
just
wrong with college football?
it's the same
Those
thing.
play those no, it's not. There's no one and done rule. You got to play at least 3 years in college, in football.
Yeah, but if you're a star player, you know you're gonna make the NFL. Uh, you don't put yourself out there like you would if you were just trying to make the team.
Yeah, but there's still. I don't know, dude. A lot of these NFL players, they end up getting their degrees and stuff.
I think these college players need to have
They're
a
not the
better work
they're
ethic as
they're
well.
not they're not the dumb jocks that people think they are.
Well, yeah, you might be right in that point, but I'm a baseball fan. Should probably even be talking about this shit because we want to talk about some pussies on any team in college or talk about baseball. Oh my God! If you break a fingernail, well, I can't pitch today, or
Right.
my groin hurts a little bit, Coach. I'd like to play shortstop today, but set me out. I've got these pro scouts wanting to watch me play, and I'm not ready to go yet. I mean, really, when it comes down to it, it's kind of like our work ethic in this country. Is if you're talented, the last thing you want to do is put yourself out there where you might get hurt and lose your value. But anyways, my Cubbies.
Hold on. Okay. Well, let's hold on. We're gonna break down the NBA real quick because we'll do baseball last.
All right, do baseball last because I have some harsh words for a certain umpire in baseball right now. But okay, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So the NBA season and NHL season are coming to a close.
Hockey's over.
It's getting there.
Don't they
They're
start
getting
again?
ready.
Don't they
They're
start
getting
again in
ready.
2 months?
They're getting ready to start. No, they don't start until next October, but the playoffs are getting ready to start.
You better hurry, Ice Mountain. Okay.
Now, NBA. Instead of going over the scores, because people are going to be watching this in other times, let's talk about who we think are going to make it out of the East and the West in the NBA for the playoffs. And
I predict one
who's
team
going to
will
win?
make it out of the East and one team will make it out of the West.
Okay, who are those teams? Because we got Toronto, Boston, Cleveland, Philadelphia, Indiana, Washington, Milwaukee, and Miami that are looking pretty good to be making the playoffs for the Eastern Conference. And then we got Houston, who clinched the number one spot. We got Golden State, Portland, San Antonio, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, Utah, New Orleans, with Denver and the LA Clippers in the mix because they're only a couple games separating them. So
who's the top two seeds right now in the East? Is that
top two seeds in the East are Toronto and Boston.
I know the entire world would want to see Boston make the finals.
Cleveland's third. I'd actually like to see Philadelphia, who's fourth, make it to the finals. Joel Embiid's coming back. I'd like to see the process actually turn into something. I still think that, in my honest opinion, I believe that Golden State's going to win their third in a row.
I think Houston's the number one seed is nice for them, but it's not going to pan
It's
out.
not enough. Yeah. It's not enough. They got lucky that Golden State's players all got hurt. Well, literally, the entire starting lineup.
Stephen Curry well now? Is Stephen Curry off his injury or?
Just know this: by the time that the playoffs are here, all four of them will be back. I think honestly, I honestly think that most of these injuries ain't as bad as they're making them out to be. I think that I think they're just resting right now because they know all they need. They're already in the playoffs. They're the number 2 seed. They're gonna go in healthy and win another championship. Now, who they play on the East? Who do you think is going to come out of the East? Because I kind of have a feeling that this is going to be the first year in 7 or 8 years that we don't have LeBron in the finals. Meaning, I don't believe Cleveland will make the finals this year.
I think they will.
I'm not seeing it unless I can't say they're not gonna because LeBron's been there 7-8 times in a row now.
But do you really want to see Toronto in the finals? Is there anybody in the NBA who actually wants to see Toronto in the finals? I don't think so.
I think it might be a better matchup. Now, actually, for right now, there's only 2 teams that could take on Golden State and it be a ratings grab. Boston and Cleveland. Yeah. With Boston, it'd be a new rivalry with Kyrie, who's already a rival of, from his Cleveland days with Golden State.
So there you go. The finals is going to be Boston and Golden State. That's what you're saying, right?
I'm thinking, as long as everyone on Boston stays healthy, I'm thinking so. I think we're going to get a Boston-Cleveland Eastern Conference Championship, and I think Boston's going to win it in 6. And then I believe we'll get a Rocket. I know it's going to be Golden State, but let's see how it'd work out here. So it'd be New Orleans versus Houston in the first round. Golden State and Utah.
That's easy.
Portland, Oklahoma City, and San Antonio, Minnesota. Now, Kawhi Leonard.
Minnesota, I think Minnesota.
I think Minnesota will beat San Antonio. I think Oklahoma City's going to put it together and beat Portland, even though Portland's playing out of their mind right now. Portland's a scary team for everyone in this tournament because they got 3-point shooting like everyone else. But, so let's see. We pull those down. Say Oklahoma City. Say Houston beats Houston, Golden State, Minnesota, and Oklahoma City win the first round. That would put Houston against Oklahoma City, which that could be a scary series for Houston. If Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul George turn it on and they start playing together like they have shown glimpses a couple times this season, they can knock Houston off. I mean, James Harden has proven that he's not very clutch when it comes to the playoffs. That's why I think it's going to be another Golden State win, because they just got too much experience, and I believe that the reason why
Yeah,
I
okay.
think that the four players are hurt.
I kind of always
Durant,
followed the guy with the shoe
Curry.
deal.
Well, I think they're all
Harden's got the
legitimately
shoe
hurt.
deal. I'm not sure. I mean, Harden's got
Who
the shoe
cares?
deal.
Who cares about shoe deals? I'm not talking. I don't give a fuck about shoe deals. Houston lost in the second round last year, and the year before that they lost. He has not. Harden is not a
It
playoff
is
player.
unfortunate, but sometimes some players play more for the shoe deal.
Well, and I
He's got a
I
lot more to
just
lose than the people around him. He can dribble by guys who don't have the shoe deal because they don't have the shoe deal.
now see, like, for Houston, it's a big deal having home court advantage, but it's not going to matter when they play Golden State. Golden State's going to just it's going to be interesting finals. But
Yeah.
my pick is Golden State playing Boston, with Golden State winning in 5 or 6.
I'm sorry, folks, for being sarcastic, but I just kind of like that's kind of what it comes down to sometimes. You gotta get the team who the players in the team, they actually want to win. They don't give a fuck about the shoe deal.
All
They
right,
want to fucking win.
who do you think? Who are your two top? Who's your finals, and who do you
I
think's
think it's
going to
Golden
win?
State and Boston. I think Golden State wins it.
All right, so we're in agreement pretty much.
Yeah, the rest of it is rice roni. Whoever beats who, there'll be some upsets as usual. Will 8 be the 1 seed this year? Probably not. I don't see any 8 beating the 1 seed this year. But
Yeah, I don't either.
I think the
All right,
brackets hold true for the most part until you get to
so
Houston.
let's switch. Okay, so we got our NBA picks in. Let's
Yeah,
switch over to hockey. All right, so in the Eastern Conference, we got Boston, Tampa, Toronto, Washington, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Philadelphia, New Jersey. Okay, New Jersey. That's on the East. We got Nashville, Winnipeg, Vegas, San Jose, Minnesota, Los Angeles, Anaheim, and either St. Louis or Colorado.
Chicago's not in
Now,
it.
nope,
I don't give
Chicago
a
is
fuck
not
then.
in
I don't give a fuck.
it. All right, well, I think it's going to be a Boston. I'm going with both 1 seeds in this year. I'm going Boston versus Nashville, with Nashville winning in 6.
Don't ask me for any prediction because of all the teams you just put out there, I didn't follow any of them. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
I,
Now, well, that's the NHL then.
hey, give that to Joe.
Since
Some Canadian knows it, and he knows well who's going to win. All right.
Dude, don't hate on hockey like that.
I wouldn't
Americans
hate
own
on
hockey.
hockey.
It's not a Canadian sport. It's an American sport. Canadians just love it.
I don't hate on hockey. I just don't know it. Just like we're not going to talk about the PGA on this one, so or bowling or archery. This is professional sports, and you own hockey.
Right.
I own really one professional sport. And that's baseball. And if you talk baseball with me, we can talk for about 3 hours. But I mean, the rest of the stuff, I'll talk to you about it. College basketball, I watch it. It's okay. NBA, yeah, when the Bulls were good, I was watching it a lot. It's been an off year for me on professional sports. Let's put it that way.
All right, well, let's move on to baseball. You had a big headline tonight that you want to make a big fuss about with your Cubbies.
Yeah, I think Harvey Weinstein was on mushrooms last night. I'm not sure I can prove it.
All right, Ken, tell us why.
The strike zone is pretty easy to figure out, and I don't mind any umpire who stretches it. Harvey has been around for a long time. I know that. He's one of the most respected umpires behind the plate. But last night, it was low for the other team, the home team, but for my team, it was low enough. Let's put it that way. His strike zone sounded like he wanted to see how long he could stretch this game because he had players looking at him like, what the fuck? I've seen Anthony Rizzo, who is a connoisseur of the strike zone, look at him like, what was that call? And nobody could figure it out. Even the pitchers were kind of worried. And the game went 17 innings because Harvey Weinstein basically made a pitcher's duel. The batters had no prayer. If it was below your knees, you better swing at it because it's going to be a strike. If it's 2 feet away from your plate, it's going to be a strike. Sometimes I worry that some of these umpires don't realize that, even though we don't have instant replay for strike calls.
Is the pizza done? Thanks.
Yeah.
Is the pizza done? Yeah. Whatever. Is the pizza done? Sorry.
Is the pizza done?
You gotta edit that out. No, you can
No,
keep
you
that.
don't.
Fuck it.
Because I would ask Harvey. I would
I
ask
am
Harvey
having-
Weinstein the same thing. Is the pizza done? Because he wanted to get to the pizza so badly, he was calling people out on 3 strikes. You're out.
That's right.
I gotta get back to the dugout. I got a pizza waiting for me, you motherfucker. I don't care. Swing it.
Now, Ken, let's make some early season predictions here
that's
for
easy.
who we think. Okay,
I
you know
already
what? I already know you're gonna say the Cubbies are gonna make the World Series. All right, so how we're gonna do this is we're gonna go through each division and name who we think is gonna win each division title, and then we're gonna go and give our predictions for the playoffs and the World Series.
So National League first?
And I want just to see, and then like mid-season we'll do another prediction, and then at the end of the season we can go back and see how close we were.
I really gotten seriously into baseball now because I'm in fantasy cash leagues, and so I really follow these teams pretty closely.
Okay, so
I want to go with the National League East first.
Yeah, let me pull it up here. I'm gonna pull it up.
Phillies, Nationals, the Mets play in the National League East, and
all right, so we will start with the AL.
okay, Boston, New York.
Yeah, we'll start with AL East, Boston, New York.
Well, the Yankees pretty much did the Steinbrenner trick this year. We get the Stanton. Pretty much thinking with Stanton Judge in the middle of the lineup that they were unbeatable.
I think the Yankees might be a little bit unbeatable this year.
If I'm a fantasy player, the first 2 outfielders I'm taking in my draft.
Well, I'll tell you this. I got Stanton in a lot of my leagues, and I'm in a couple three team leagues where you get 3 teams. You get to draft 3 teams, and then you can only use players from those 3 teams to fill your team. It's pretty fun. I got the Yankees in 2 of them. I believe the So here.
Hey, what did he do? What did he do his first at bat as a Yankee, Frank? What did he do?
He hit a home run. I loved it. A 2-run home run his very first at bat. He went 4 for 4 that day. 2 home runs, a double. He had like 6 RBIs.
Were you shocked? I was not shocked.
No, I wasn't shocked at all. But I just. How about this? Before we get into that, how about for the first time in the history of the game, the very first pitch of the very first game got hit for a home run?
I have him on my fantasy team too, but it's Ian Happ, I think.
Yes, it was Ian Happ. And how about David? How about the rookie Davidson for Chicago White Sox hitting 3 home runs on opening day?
I don't know, Paul. The White Sox are.
I know it's not your
Major League team. I'm sorry.
Look at that White Sox hate. They're still in Chicago, Ken.
They're playing the wrong side, Chicago. Sorry.
Oh, that was great. All right, back to this. AL East has Boston, the Yankees, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Toronto. I'm picking the Yankees to come out of this one. What about you?
Boston.
You're picking Boston to overtake the Yankees
I'll
in
tell
the
you
AL
what, the
East.
Yankees have a problem.
I
They're putting a
actually
lot
look.
of they're putting a lot of their team on two players, and when you do that,
Oh, they
that's
already have a lot of good players
yeah,
though.
they
Gary
have good players.
Sanchez, dude.
The
They
Glorious, they have
now Boston. I can't really argue with that either because Boston, even though I hate them, Boston's got a good team this year. So I believe the Yankees will win the AL East with Boston playing in the wild
Oh,
card.
I think the top two teams in the AL East will make either will win the playoffs. I mean, that's
Yeah, so we're in agreement there. Okay, AL Central. We got the Chicago White Sox, Ken's favorite team, Cleveland, Minnesota, Detroit, and Kansas City. I believe Cleveland will run away with this division
I don't.
this year. They're loaded again, and I see it happening. Now, AL West. What about you? Okay, take
Wait a
your
minute, you
Central
didn't give
team.
me the Central team with the
Yeah,
Minnesota
sorry.
Twins.
You think the Twins are going to take it? Okay.
Twins, so yeah, I think.
Okay, so AL West. We got Houston, LA Angels, Seattle, Oakland, and Texas. I believe Houston will come out of it once again.
Can we talk franchise? Can we talk team that's going to be there every year for the next 6 years or so?
In Houston?
I mean, in
Yeah.
Houston, yes, we can.
Yeah, we can.
You're gonna begin to hate Houston like you used to hate the Yankees back in the '80s.
Well, I don't. I like Houston because of Verlander, and I also liked how they did
Altuve, signed him to extension.
they didn't Steinbrenner it like the
They
Yankees
did it.
do.
No,
They built the team.
they built a team like Epstein built the Cubs.
Which is amazing that Sports Illustrated 3 years before Houston won it predicted that Houston would win the World Series in 2017 because of all the moves they're making in the
Would you
farm system
agree
and
they
everything.
did it like Epstein? They did
Like what?
Like Phil Epstein did with the Cubs. They did it the same way.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a train wreck is waiting to happen, folks.
Right, yeah, and people, when Theo first got there, everyone was like, "Oh my God, he's not doing good," and he was just telling them, "Just trust me."
Yeah.
And
He knew
bam,
exactly what he was doing.
Bam, 102 years, 103.
108.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew it was over 100. So over 100 years drought, and they make the playoffs and win the World Series 2 years ago.
So you'd be stupid not to pick Houston in the American League West. I mean, really, you would be stupid not to pick them to win.
Yeah, you would.
And be number one seed in the playoffs, obviously, too, I think. That's the gimme. Now, the Angels had some good acquisitions, too. They have this kid who can play both sides, be a DH and be a pitcher. I don't think it's going to put him over the top, though. They have the best player in the American League in Mike Trout. They do. They have the best player in the American League in Mike Trout. I have Mike Trout on 2 of my fantasy teams. I'm sure you have him on 1 of them. Everybody has Mike Trout.
I have him on exactly 1 of them because I was lucky enough to get the fucking first pick of the draft. Because if you don't get the first pick of the draft or the second, you could possibly get Bryce Harper in the second round. I've seen it happen once because someone took Altuve first.
So, call me idiot. I had a snake draft, and I had the first pick in the draft. I didn't take Trout.
Who'd you take?
Arenado. He had better numbers.
Arenado's going to have a big year, but
he's in Colorado, folks. He's not in Los Angeles. He's in Colorado.
I think God damn it. Why did his name just come to my head?
Wait till Harper comes to Chicago and see what happens, folks.
Harper's going to be going to the Yankees, unfortunately.
Oh, he's not.
That's the scary thing about the Yankees.
He's best friends with Bryant.
Well, they got so much money, the Yankees. They're going to be able to give him the super max contract like they just gave Stanton and still have enough money to get more people. It's kind of crazy.
So, is anybody be Houston on the American League side? Question, Frank.
No. Or throughout the entire playoffs?
Yeah. Is Houston come out of the playoffs as the American League team? Who do they play in the American League Series championship? Who do you think they play?
I think it'll be
Yankees?
depending on how, I think it'll be the Yankees versus Houston. But Cleveland's scary too. Cleveland's stacked this year, man. Boston's also scary because they're stacked too. But the Yankees are the most stacked, and Houston are the most gelled and stacked, especially with the addition of Verlander. I think it will go 7 games. I'll give the nod to the New York Yankees just because.
You're gonna hate me.
I'm sure you're gonna say Houston. I don't. No, who are you
No.
thinking?
I'm going to say Houston 6 over Boston.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not. I'm not have a bad. I'm
The
not bad
reason
with
the
that.
Yankees have a problem is they're putting a lot of chips on a kid in his sophomore year. We all know the sophomore jinx. Once the pitcher's seen you enough times, they're going to give you some stuff you can't hit, a.k.a. Kyle Schwarber, monster year till the pitcher's figured him out.
Kyle Schwarber and Aaron Judge are not the same player. Aaron Judge is up in the stratosphere of Chris Bryant and all those guys that didn't have sophomore slumps. So I don't believe Aaron Judge will have a sophomore slump. I think with the addition of Stanton, that just helped him in a huge way.
We'll see. We will see.
Now we're moving on to the
But we
National
both
League.
agreed.
Wait
on
a
Houston. We both agreed on Houston.
Yep, we both agree on Houston. We have the Yankees and Boston playing them. Now,
National League East.
hold on, because we got to make our prediction. Who do we think is going to make it to the World Series?
Houston.
Okay, so we are both in agreement.
Yeah, we agree.
Okay, so yeah, we both picked Houston. I picked them to beat the Yankees.
I picked them to beat the Red Sox.
7, and you beat them to pick
6.
Boston.
Yeah.
And 6. All right, National League East. We got the Mets, Washington, Atlanta, Miami, Philadelphia. That's a tough one to me because Washington should win it, but the Mets and Atlanta, the Mets are going to be a scary team this year because they're pitching and they got a lot. They did some good moves by getting Frazier and stuff in the offseason. They're going to be a scary team this year, and Atlanta's they're kind of like the Houston of the NL. They built their team up from the farm system,
They're
and
still
they're
2 years away.
I kind of agree. I think you're right about that they're a year or 2 away, but they're also a scary team that could maybe make a splash in the playoffs.
I think we both can agree it's the Nationals League. It's the Nationals division to lose.
I agree. And I believe either the Mets or Atlanta will be one of the wild card teams. So I will take Washington just because they should win the division.
You're saying one team from the West is still going to be in the playoffs. That's hard. Okay.
I think Washington and either the Mets or Atlanta will be in the wild card.
Okay. So can we go to West or National League Central next?
National League Central, we got Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati, and St. Louis. Now, I think we're both in agreement here when we both will say the Chicago Cubs.
Nope.
No, you just think Cincinnati or St. Louis is going to take it?
I'm picking the Cubs as a wild card. I think St. Louis will win it.
Okay.
I think the Cubs, I hate to say this, I really do, about Joe Madden, but I think he overmanages a lot. And I think they had some players who, when you look at their lineup, yeah, it's stacked. From 1 to 8, every single player in that lineup can hit 10-plus homers.
Right.
But the problem is, homers don't win you games. You have to have players who hit situational. And the problem I have with the team when I watch them is just, oh my God, you want to watch a Cub game. If you're a true baseball fan, you know situational baseball, right, Frank? Get to the right side with men on first and second, advance to your runners, get your sacrifice flies. You can't score every run off a home run. And this team tends to swing for the fences. These guys are like fence swingers, and it's like, motherfuckers, you got all the talent in the world.
You're right. Okay, so
I think they still get second.
Louis.
I still think it's a wild card. St. Louis win.
You're taking Chicago as a wild card team, and see, it's kind of hard to pick the 2 wild card teams because the West is stacked too.
Yeah.
The West could the West could literally have 3 teams
Well,
that
there's
come
2
out.
wild card teams, Frank. I'm saying
Right.
neither of them come out of the East. Only one comes out of the Central, and out of the West. I think you get Arizona and
Well, yeah, because we got
the
Arizona.
Dodgers.
We're going to the. So I picked the Cubs to win the Central. You picked St. Louis. I'll. I'm. I'm not going to say there's a wild card team that comes out of the Central. My 2 wild card teams, because we got
You
the
said one's
NL
going to come
West,
out
which
East.
is,
Yeah, you think one's going to come out East. Central.
and one's going to come out the West. Yeah, and then the West we got Arizona, San Francisco, Colorado, LA Dodgers, and San Diego. Now I would have picked San Francisco because it seemed like it was going to be their year, but with Bumgarner going down, I'm kind of iffy about them. I think the Dodgers are going to win the division,
Dodgers are the
and
best team in the
it's
National League. I hope they do.
going to be a toss-up between the 3 of Arizona, San Francisco, or Colorado to win the wild card.
I'll pick Arizona. I'm going to pick Guardian Post.
At this moment, I actually pick Arizona too. So for me, Boston and Arizona are my 2 wild card teams.
Arizona's going to have a good year, lose 1 game, and be done. But that's still a wild card team. So
Right. Now, who do you think is going to come out of the National League? Me, I believe that we're going to have something crazy happen this year where it's going to be, I think, like either Arizona or like I can see
the Mets.
I could see a wild card team making it to the World Series in this just because of how stacked all the teams are. The National League is really
National League is stacked.
yeah, and they really are, and it's just kind of crazy. So I'm trying to go through the matchups in my head right now. I don't believe the Dodgers make it back.
You don't.
I don't. I think it's going to be a wild card team.
Well, I just picked the Cubs as a wild card team.
Well, I don't think the Cubs are going to make it either.
No, I as much as a fan as I am, I have to be unbiased when I make these calls, and I don't.
Right. Now, I could honestly see Arizona making it. They got the team around them. They got the pitching. They got the batting. That's the one thing that's one reason why I'll pick them over Colorado, because Colorado's stacked in the batting area, but when it comes to pitching, they're not on Arizona's level.
The only thing I would give Chicago an advantage in pitching-wise is they are one of the better pitching teams in the National League. They really do.
They do, but they just got rid of Arrieta.
They didn't need Arrieta.
You're right.
They got you Darvish.
Yeah.
You got Darvish, Lester, and Hendricks, and
Trust me. I like the Cubs pitching rotation.
they get Cechek, and they added Morrow. Their bullpen now is probably the best bullpen in the National League. They just proved it by pitching basically 0 ball against Florida the first 2 games. There's no holes in there. The holes in there, I'm telling you, is that the batters just do not understand situational baseball. That's why I brought Chili Davis in there, because Chili Davis was a situational hitter. He realized how you do it. They're not catching on. If they catch on, oh fuck, look out. 110 ball games won if they catch on, but they don't. They all swing for the fences.
Right.
And St. Louis has always been well coached, and this is what I hate about St. Louis, because they've always had good coaches.
Yes, they have, and they also
they understand how to play.
And if they got a good team.
Sometimes they don't even need the players with St. Louis, because you've got that good at coaching. The players buy in, and you win. That's what you do. That's how That's how it works with St. Louis. You see guys in St. Louis, you got who's Tommy Pham? Who's fucking Piscotti? Who are these fuckers? Well, once they get the coaches underneath them, they become stars. They know the roles and they play their roles too well. They don't need stars in St. Louis no anymore. They just need players.
Right.
Chicago needs stars, and the stars. Once you become a star, you think, oh, I got to go up there and hit a home run for Johnny or my buddy Jake at the bar. I got to hit a home run. I can't just go out there and lay down a ground ball to the right side and pass the guy for second base. That's not going to get me any fucking points for anybody.
Okay, so who is your pick? Mine's Arizona to come out of the NL. Who's your pick?
My pick's Los Angeles, the best team up and down.
Okay, so you're going to take the Dodgers. So
they were better than the Cubs last year, weren't they?
I have Houston versus Arizona, and you have Houston versus the Dodgers. Who's your pick to win the World Series this year?
Astros.
Okay, so we're in agreement there because I believe that they're going to win back-to-back also.
The only team they have to beat is themselves, and you'd have to have some major injuries to a lot of players. That's how deep they are. You'd have to have a lot of players go down for Houston not to be a winning team. I mean, you're talking about Justin Verlander finally being on a team for a full season that scores runs. Holy shit, this guy should go 25 and 2 or something like that. He should put up Sutcliffe numbers. Remember Sutcliffe, the second half of the season with the Cubs in '84? He should put up those kind of numbers. 25 and 2, an ERA about 2.16, and he wouldn't even have pitched the whole game, just 6 innings. And the bullpen, yeah, they did it the right way, which makes me happy because they didn't do it the Yankee way. They didn't go buy players, and like you said, they went out, they checked the farms, they got the players for the farms, and they put the situational players. They bought the players they needed to go with those players to make them a good team. That's what the Cubs did. You look at the Cubs lineup, there's nobody in that lineup where they say they went out and bought him. We didn't buy Bryant. We brought him from the farm. We didn't buy Rizzo.
Yeah, Chicago did exactly what Houston did. They built their team through the farm system. Yeah. It's the process, like what Philadelphia did in the NBA.
We got Rizzo from a trade when he was nobody. We got Baez from the farm. We got Russell from the farm. We bought Lester. Yes, we had to eventually. You eventually have to go out and get a franchise pitcher.
Right.
Like the Houston Astros did with getting Verlander. You go out and get your franchise pitcher. You might get your franchise closer.
Right.
But the rest of your team, you built. And
yeah, you're right.
So many teams don't get that. And I think they're going to start getting it because if they don't get it, they're going to be sitting there watching a lot of playoff games.
You're right.
George Steinbrenner in this era, he'd get killed. Go out and buy some players past their prime, and they go out.
I don't know, man. The Steinbrenner way worked for him for 27. Well, he won 13 of those 27, but still, he won a lot.
Yeah, but back then you could buy these players. Now these players have contracts. Like you just can't go out and buy players anymore.
Yeah, but the Yankees
mortgage your stadium.
The Yankees the Yankees don't have to do that.
No, the Yankees went out and bought a few players this year. They got Stanton,
and they're going to buy a few players next year, like Bryce Harper.
Stole Chapman from my team.
Yeah, they went out. They took the best closer. That's why I kind of have a feeling that if anybody's going to take Houston out, it's going to be the Yankees. But I do believe Houston will overcome and win back-to-back titles for the first time in since the Yankees did it back in the 90s.
Yeah, Chicago came close, but they didn't come.
They did, but close is only like counts in hand grenades and horseshoes.
They came from the Premier League where there's a lot of fucking competition. So
right.
So we're done with this, and we're going to go to VOV now.
Yeah, give me. Like I said, I got pizza to do. So
do some pizza.
Yep. So give me about 20 minutes, half hour. I'll be back.
Half hour. Okay, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, my time.
All right.
All right.
All right, sir. People, folks, this has been episode 1 of Frank and Ken's Sports Chat. I hope you enjoyed. We will be coming with you we will be coming to you with this weekly. In fact, we might even do a podcast Monday night or Tuesday sometime to cover the national title game. So everyone have a wonderful night. And Ken, I shall be talking to you shortly.
All right, eat some pizza.
Yep, I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right.